What's going on YouTube? This is Sean P from Project Unk. If you like what you've been seeing so far, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, let me know what you want to see, because we got a whole lot more to come. What's going on, Chuck?
Man, I'm cooling, man, like I do.
Absolutely. I know y'all remember Chuck from Imperial Apparel. We just want to come in and we want to talk about stuff. So the other night we were sitting around and we were talking about music. One of the things that's not, I don't want to say issue. One of the things that we go through, being the age that we are, is music. So we have what we grew up on and what we would normally consider to be real hip hop or just real music. So whether it's R&B, hip hop, it can be argued that it's really not anything like it was when we were coming up. You can also argue that it's the exact same thing. It's just different people doing it.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
It is the exact same thing, but different people doing it. And you have to understand, it's a generation gap. My kids are nothing like we were growing up. My son grew up listening to dubstep. I don't know if y'all even know what dubstep is.
I like dubstep. It's a little loud. It's a little chaotic, but I enjoy listening to it.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like I'm like, what is that?
Right.
But all the while, when they was with me, I'm jamming Ice Cube, and I'm jamming all the gangster, but I guess like I was when I was young, I didn't want to listen to my pop's music. I wanted my own music.
Okay. So are they receptive to Ice Cube and the rest of it?
Now that he's grown.
But now when he was younger.
Oh no.
So what do you think it is that causes a kid or a youngster to not appreciate or hear it and not really just feel it right off the bat? Has our vernacular changed? Is it the context? I could argue that the content is still the same,
right,
for the most part. But I hear a lot of times youngsters will say, well, the rhymes are basic. So I don't know how you can listen to somebody like Coogee Rap or even Bone Thugs, and they're doing a lot of singing. Them dudes are rhyming, or Big Daddy Kane, Ice Cube, and say that the lyrics are basic.
I don't want to sound messed up when I say this, but you got a lot of kids on that Ritalin growing up. They got them on that Ritalin. they rather medicate them instead of trying to help them and figure out what's going on. And I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just a different way of seeing things, a different perspective. Mm-hmm. I know me personally, for whatever reason, and maybe it is with them. When you have a rebellious soul, you know when your parents tell you to do something, tell you don't do this, what you want to do?
You want to do it anyway.
Exactly what they told you not to do. You gotta go find out. You gotta go see why. So my parents, whatever they was doing or whatever they was on, I didn't want to be a part. I wanted to have my own.
Right.
I ain't want to listen to no R&B, no Isley Brothers, no Maze. I ain't want to hear that shit.
So what is it about it that you didn't like?
I guess because I wasn't into girls at that time when I was 12. Let me see, I was 12, 13. I think 13 I started getting into girls, and my uncle was playing some cool Isley, and he had one tape with like, I give him this. My uncle had like a mixtape, the best of, and it had like the best of the ballads on there. You know what I mean? Not just an album and you got to go through nonsense just to get to the good stuff.
But it almost sounds like you're listening to the lyrics at that young age and expecting to get something out of it, and not being able to identify. Okay, so I'll give you an example, like As We Lay. As we lay. Right. Even though I knew what they were talking about, and even though I couldn't fully comprehend it until I went through an As We Lay situation, just the vocal ability and the music itself was just that got me in. So you're saying that because you couldn't necessarily identify with that music at that time, that you weren't feeling the song like that, and you had to wait until you actually were able to feel the lyrics.
It had good melodies, it's like going to church.
Okay.
you go to church, Baptist church, they got, you know, man, they got the great songs.
I was raised Catholic.
Well,
I was denied that.
That's why I specified.
Okay.
Because I know. So
I was like, yeah, I got you.
So you know, all the hymns, and it's like great church music, and you know what I mean. You know, every Sunday you into it, and it's cool to bob your head, you know. But it's like it was still as a youngster, it was still empty because I didn't relate to religion like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So it's just sounds and music and people saying things that didn't carry any weight to me at that time. So moving forward, I want and this is crazy. I almost want to say, was it EPMD? You a customer?
Yeah, the EPMD.
I think it might have been like EPMD, you a customer. When I heard that song, it just took me to a
What you about, More Bounce to the Ounce or the actual song?
No, I'm talking about EPMD.
So hold on, you didn't really start feeling music until you heard EPMD's You a Customer?
I wasn't into music at all.
Oh my God.
And then my
Oh, that's a fucking revelation.
yeah,
God, are you serious?
I mean, my dad had bought me some. I probably heard some little hip. Okay, what was out before then as far as hip hop?
Oh man,
They came out in what 90?
Nah.
I mean 80.
86 or something like that, and we can look it up, but I don't necessarily think it's that
matter of
important.
fact, I think I heard Run DMC's King of Rock
Okay.
before that. My dad was having a party.
You heard the song King of Rock, not the album.
You know, he getting up the song because he came up there with an album, and they was making us get ready. We was gonna leave, but my dad's younger friend had an album. My dad didn't like rap music.
Right.
He know nothing about it, but he played that damn rap, and I was like, what is that?
And that was your first real exposure to hip hop.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I know I'm like what 2 years older than you,
Right.
but I remember distinctly hearing Rappers Delight for the first time. And initially I didn't like it because I liked the original songs. I was really into disco. I like Good Time, These
Right. Yeah, see.
and so they used that,
Yeah.
and I was like, ew, what are they? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
But shortly thereafter, because I remember it actually made the top 8 at 8 or top 10 back then. We're talking about the late 70s, way late, so almost 80. When that happened, and I got into it, and that, you know, in short order, Chuck looking at my bearded dragon because he digging in some stuff and climbing around. He ain't gonna bite you.
Yeah, you know, I got to keep my eye on that cat.
So, but when I heard it, after, you know, I warmed up to it, I was like, okay. At that moment, I became obsessed with hip hop. I mean, it became my everything. I still listen to. So my parents had raised me a lot older, so I grew up on B.B. King, ZZ Hill. Man, believe it or not, my heart beats fine, lonely tears.
See, you were different. I knew you were different when it came to music. From the beginning, it's like you were listening to stuff that I wouldn't even thought about listening to.
Right.
Even when we was in Virginia and we went to the studio or whatever, the samples that you was pulling up and wanting to sample, I'm like, when I hear that song to this day, I'm like,
Oh, that's a song.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the song. You know what I mean?
Especially if you're sitting there sampling or whatever, and it kind of gets ingrained in your head. You remember the studio. You remember who was recording over it. Right.
Remember Dear Pops?
Yeah. You know, so, and that was one of I Hate My Daddy's songs until I got to know the dude, and I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, this is
Yeah.
I was out of line.
But what was funny was that was my first time like in the studio, like
Right.
you know what I mean. So we wanted to we incorporated samples.
Right.
Then we go get the VCR.
Well, we had got the VCR from my boy Tony, and we put the Boys in the Hood VHS in it,
Yes.
and we were like, ooh, your daddy mean it.
I say, damn, your daddy mean. He works for the boogeyman himself.
That and you know, any man with a dick can make a baby, but
Yeah,
only a real man can raise his children.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
we
yeah.
sampled all that stuff. Oh man, I really wish I could. And then we used Minnie Riperton.
Yeah.
Doom, doom, boom, boom, boom. Okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, that and that's the whole thing with me. It's just I've really been into hip hop, and that kind of changes my perspective of how I see stuff now.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing you talking. You really didn't start even messing with it because you just wasn't exposed to it, or you just didn't like it.
I was
Until-
raised, my grandmother raised me.
Okay.
Big mama raised me, and it wasn't that music.
None of that.
What?
Okay.
It wasn't none of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and for my birthday, I got I wanted a tape recorder, a tape cassette,
Okay.
but I ended up getting
You talking about like Walkman or a little boom
no,
box?
like a Walkman,
Okay.
my own there. So I ended up getting the headphones, but don't have the radio on, AM, FM. You know what I mean?
So you had to catch the 808, where they play they gonna play the top 8
You
songs.
see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So it's like this not what I want. This not what I want, but it's what I had.
And you got some exposure.
And I'm in there doing, at the dinner table, whatever I'm at doing. I got my headphones on. Now I can listen to the radio station all day, and oh man, and that EPMD came on.
You a customer.
Doom. Oh man, that you a customer. I was like,
So it's the beat and the lyrics, or just
it was just so,
whatever it was.
It was just so, because the beat was simple.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Then that boy talking about knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. See, to me, simplicity is never overrated, because back when Run DMC was rapping, I used to think Run said the hardest rhyme, can't nobody else came top what Run them just did. Until somebody comes and top it. Until somebody comes and recreate, be so innovative. It's like, how do you think about it? How can you create these words and rhymes that come together? So it was more simplicity. It was more simplicity back then than it is now. But for them to come up with a song, like even to this day, man, I jam that song, pull them at the club, pull it up in the hood. I'd be on that EPMD just on some knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. Yo, you know what I mean? You can't not like that. You can't disrespect that, because they were pioneers into something that we never thought would even grow to where it's at right now.
Right.
And when I caught that bug, man, it was over. I started writing raps in the 8th grade.
Because I was already rapping by then. Right. Well, I won't say already rapping,
I
but
started writing like 85, 86.
The first rap that I actually, before that I was always writing.
Right.
Like even when I was like 7, 8, I was writing. So, but I wasn't being very creative. What I would do is take, don't laugh at me. I would take songs that was already out there and just change the words to it.
But that's what we did.
So
that's what we did.
And I bullshit you not. There was a song, remember, the Negro National Anthem. I don't like that title, but lift every voice. So I took the words from Kool and the Gang, feeling the too hot, and there's a part where he goes feeling the pain. So I took that and put it with the Negro National Anthem, feeling the pain of a broke. You know what I'm saying? So I would do that. I would take Jay Giles' band, like Centerfold, na 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 na, and do that. So when I heard Real Roxanne, I was like, oh, okay, because it was a phenomenon. It was everybody had real answer records, disc records to Real Roxanne. So you had UTFO with the Real Roxanne.
Yeah.
Then you had for the Real Roxanne
Shantae
came out, and then you had Sparky D and DJ Spider. Yeah, they hit it, Spider. Then you had the Real Roxanne finally came out after the fact. I guess they're like, well, shit, we got all these people doing this shit.
Yeah.
Let's put out the real shit. And I wrote a rhyme defending UTFO and shit,
Yeah.
And it was, by then I had got used to writing shit, so it was cool. It was trash, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? And it was called Sean Anthony. It was like, Sean Anthony. Sean Anthony.
But that's what we did back then.
Yeah, so you take that, and it wasn't, I can't tell you the first time, well, I guess shortly thereafter I would try to write my own raps.
Right.
And I had a hard time because, I hadn't experienced really anything. And it was never in my mind to just talk about, because I lived in South Park at the time. Yeah. So I could have talked about what was going on in the hood and shit. It never occurred to me to do that.
Because at that time it wasn't rap, it was hip hop.
Right. So you just rhyme about how good you are as a rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There was no reality rap. They ain't do that yet.
So after I wrote that, and then people asked me to do it for them and shit, and then I would try to just writing stuff, and then of course over time you got better. So by the time EPMD came out, I had been rhyming.
Yeah.
So that's where I was with that. But also by the same token, I was able to watch the inception of hip hop. I was able to, just really appreciate, where it was, where it became.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, and a lot of cats, man, they'll talk about how simplistic simplistic those rhymes were. But if you take Sucker MC by Run DMC, 2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to say some MC rhyme. So I said this rhyme I'm about to say. The rhyme was deaf and it went this way. Took a test to become an MC. And, you know what I'm saying? It was simplistic, but it's telling a very coherent story. So you can, you know what I'm saying? How complex do you need that to be if you're trying to get a story across, right?
But the thing is, and that's what I guess the younger generation have to really kind of see and realize is that look at the time. Mm-hmm. How simple were the times back then?
Right.
We didn't have push button cars and cars with key fobs and it was none of that. You know what I mean? So,
you had automatic windows on your shit though. You had to.
What? Not us?
Yes. Well, not. But I'm saying it was out.
Right. Okay. Right.
It was out.
Yeah, that was out.
Thing.
Yeah.
You had the little silver button you pulled back and shit.
Yeah. But the thing was, things were so simple back then that it's almost like everything is so space age now. Mm-hmm. Everything somebody does or try to come up with, they're not trying to do it for the now. It's for the future. Everything got to be futuristic. You're trying to plan for the future. You want to do something that's going to be something that the people in the future or the next generation, 10 years or 5 years from now, because you want to come up with an app to turn your TV off. What are you thinking about, dude? That's been done. Oh yeah, but mine is. Come on, man.
Mine is a different color.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So you have to think past what's going on now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So with hip hop, we can only think so far. You couldn't believe that it would still be here to this day.
Right.
Nobody thought that hip hop would have came this far. You know what I mean? With the rapping and the beatboxing and being on the corner and nobody thought it would become what it is.
Do you think it was more hip hop back then than it is now? Like I can tolerate. So I look at some of the rappers, or I hesitate to call a lot of them MCs, but I listen to some of the rap music that's out right now, and I can appreciate it for being music. Like I told you, I like Roddy Ricch. That's my guy.
Yeah.
And I let my boy hear it. He just wasn't feeling it.
A lot of you guys got old souls, man. Migos.
I'm a fan of these Migos. Really, really feeling Migos.
You like them Migos?
I like Migos. I fuck with them.
They cool.
ASAP Rocky or ASAP.
Yeah, you was telling me earlier about the ASAP.
Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I point them out, because of course I like Kendrick. I think Lupe Fiasco is one of the most underrated rappers of all the time. I think he's absolutely phenomenal. The Cool is one of the greatest hip hop albums I've ever heard in my life. So I hold him in very high esteem. So you have those artists, and that's a given, J. Cole. But some of the ones that don't necessarily fit that mold, that a lot of people would say they kind of making bullshit, I fuck with them heavy. So, I can tolerate Cardi B. We had a conversation about Cardi B.
I'm going to tell you why. Because you fit a certain stigma. You're that backpack rapper. Remember the backpack rapper?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those guys look more in depth than the normal, everyday hip-hop listener.
Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? Because when music coming out, matter of fact, this was made Florida and a lot of areas in down south. When that beat drop, doom, doom, Dum, dum. Come on, man.
Is that Whoop That Is?
I'm just what I'm saying is there was not even just an era during a certain time period. Almost a genre of music was created, that booty music.
Didn't like none of it.
That's what I understand. I understand why you like it.
It's just that's a beat,
right?
And then I had
hold on. In high school, DJ Magic Mike, feel the bass.
I didn't have a car.
I didn't either.
So
I didn't know.
I don't care. Hey, man, this shit got bass like a but I don't have a car.
Right. I didn't either. But it was
now
like,
when you added lyricism and that DJing aspect, which is gone now for the most part in songs, I was able to get on board with some of the bass music. So that's when you get Rodney and Joe Cooley, everlasting bass. So you
come on, man.
Birds. So you had the boom. So even though I didn't have a vehicle, I could listen to Joe Cooley. Right. Cut up. I could listen to Rodney O. rhyme. He wasn't the greatest rhymer, but over the type of music they were trying to put out, it was cool. I really liked it. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So I mean, but if it was just if your shit was just based on bass, it missed me. Now I'm not against music that has instrumentals, which is where you get craft work. Right. I pulled up to your house the other day. I was bumping numbers and shit. So I mean the music, but they're not portraying themselves to be this. That genre of music is not portraying itself to be rap music. So if I hear rap music, the one thing that needs to be first and foremost is the fucking rap. Now, if you can rap okay and the music is jamming, then I can flow with it. But if you can't rap,
but who says you can't rap?
Well, it's subjective. So it's art, right? Yeah. When it comes down to it, it's art. So when somebody plays something for me that that they like and I don't like it, I don't criticize them for it because I know there's a reason why they like it. But if it doesn't fit, I guess within my style or what I want to get out of it. So I was talking to my boy Terry yesterday, and we were talking about K Reno. Oh yeah. So K Reno is one of my favorite rappers of all time. I mean, I love K Reno. So when I was in the Navy, this was when I got Tales from the Black Book. I went to Virginia with it, and I was bringing on the ship. We were on our 6-month deployment, and we playing spades and shit. And I'm trying to play K Reno, and just to be honest with you, the his music wasn't mixed very well, so it didn't have that as far as music wise, it did not sound good. But I couldn't hear that initially. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All I could hear the lyrics. I'm like, man, this dude is fucking incredible.
Like you're doing it in his bathroom.
It do. But I didn't care. Because I thought, I was like, man, there's a prodigy giving punks a lobotomy once received an apology from a bullet that shot at me. I break you to pieces, high priest of a thesis, death rain releases. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, this nigga's nasty. And niggas like, oh, that nigga whack. I bullshit you not. I almost got into a fight with this nigga named Tab. His last name was Tab. And we was talking about something. He's like, oh, nigga, you don't know. You listen to niggas like K Reno. Who the fuck? I'm like, nigga, no, you nigga.
The bitch, I'll kill you.
Yeah, behind this nigga.
Yeah.
But and what it was a pride thing. It was like, okay.
You dissing H-Town and everything.
Yeah, and you saying my choice of music is trash, nigga. I'm like, nah, I know way more hip hop than you, nigga.
Yeah, I ain't gonna stand for none of that.
So I take my lyrics serious.
Yeah.
So if you can't rap, I have a hard time listening to you, unless, of course, the music is just good enough for it to be like that. But
No, trust me, I understand. I fall into, I guess, kind of the reality rap genre, the gangster rap genre.
I mean, call it what it is.
I mean,
try to clean it up.
I mean, but you know how I was raised. You know what I mean? Like all of my family, my folks. So I be on that type of shit. So, but you can't just be no bullshit dude. You know what I mean? I don't give a damn if the beat lies. Like you gotta really be spitting the shit. So I kind of got caught up into that a little bit. So I'm very judgmental on, like, dudes we talk about how Jeezy and blah 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 to all the longevity. To me, these guys only got a couple of albums that I really think are good bodies of work. Because a lot of times we trying to whip the dope that we have just to stretch reap the benefits of the finances. So we ain't gonna put all the best on one album or two albums, but once we realize like we gonna have a lot to say, so now we gotta stretch it out and just kind of, keep
put a lot of filler in there.
A lot of filler, man, and a lot of guys give you a bunch of mixtapes and a bunch of this and a bunch of that. They watering it down, so I'm very selective, and I'm saying one of my favorite rappers, Pusha T.
Okay, underrated.
I was listening to some of his music on the way over some of the older mixtapes and CDs he had, and I came to the realization I didn't like a lot of that stuff.
Oh, Pusha T album.
Excuse me. I think what it was on my last phone I had. I created a playlist.
Okay.
So I had an extensive playlist of particular artists, and every song that was on that playlist was like one of my favorites. It was like, so I kind of got spoiled to the fact that everything I'm hearing is just heat.
Because it's your album that you listen
It's
to,
not-
not
you
the
understand
the
what I'm
artist's
saying?
album.
Yeah.
Like, so I'll take like some Lupe Fiasco put out like albums, right? But he also put out the mixtape In Mid State for the people. Those are two different mixtapes. And Lasers, which is an album, I didn't like Lasers, but it was the album coming behind the Cool, and I just told you how the Cool is. Have you heard the Cool?
I'm sure I'm gonna put me.
I am. Yeah. But anyway, let me not hype it up. So after the Cool, I expected everything to be. I didn't expect it to be as good as the Cool because I loved it that much. But when I heard Lasers, I was like, "Oh, this album's been tampered with." You know what I'm saying? It's somebody got in his ear, like you gotta put this out. But within that album, it had like 4 or 5 songs that was just incredible. So I'll show you my playlist. I made my own Lupe album out of those mixtapes and the 4 or 5 songs from Lasers.
You know what I'm saying?
And I made my own album out of it, and that's what I listened to.
Yeah.
So when I listened to the actual album, I'm like, ugh, man, that's not how the album's supposed to go. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what happened. I'm trying to ride over here. I'm like, oh yeah, they got that on. Oh yeah. I'm like, the fuck? Skip?
Yeah.
Skip.
You can't be doing all that skipping when you're driving. So I need to be able to put on something.
Well, I'm on the steering wheel though. Skip.
I need to do that.
You ain't got your thing.
I don't have none of that good shit hooked up.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble getting my phone to connect to my radio. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
He gonna help me.
Yeah, we get that together. So I'm skipping, then it's like the last 4 songs, last 3 songs. I'm like, my playlist.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I was, what was I watching? I was watching something, and they had to. No, it might have been. Well, anyway, for lack of better conversation, even on Ray. Some movies, some albums, when people are putting albums out, they're on a contract.
Okay.
And so let's say you have a contract. Oh, you got to put out 2 albums, and you're gonna get X amount of dollars, but you want to get out of your contract. You can't. You don't want to put 2 albums out with a bunch of trash. First and foremost, but you want to put all your good work, because once you get out of this contract, you're gonna be able to
do your own thing. You want to make sure that you have the material.
Right.
For that. Right.
So you're gonna put 3 cool songs, the old songs you had that was worth something, and mix them in with a bunch of fillers.
Okay.
2, 3 more cool songs, a couple of cool singles, mix it with a bunch of fillers, and then boom, now you out. Now you can do your thing. So you get artists with albums that just I'm not saying that they don't care that they're not top quality, but it doesn't even matter, because once you establish a name, people gonna buy it off the single or off the whatever alone. You know what I mean? It ain't like back in the days when you can just go buy the one little small 45 single. even before you can just all the downloading was free, you almost had to go buy the whole CD, or you wanted to go buy the whole CD.
Well, they had the maxi singles though,
right?
So you had the
5 songs, 2 or 3 on
that's
one
the EP.
side.
So they on the maxi single, it'll be the song that you want.
Right.
They have a remix. Now, a real remix where you may get or you would have a extra verse, or the beat is completely fucking different. Yeah. Like Special Ed's on the Magnificent, where the remix didn't sound anything like it. You know what I'm saying? So, and then they might even chunk your instrumental on there.
I was gonna say, what's the scenario?
Oh, perfect. Because you had the one with Hood on it.
Yeah.
Who passed away before the one with I think Tribe.
Yeah.
West. So whose song was it? It was Leaders of the New School song.
Yeah.
And then the remix had Tribe Called Quest, and that's the version that everybody, because you had, Busta with a row like a dungeon draft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you had that. So let me ask you this, man. With the with all that being said, because I addressed this with Bernie Merck. Back then, you had to go to the store. You got to go to Sam Goody or Cactus or Soundwaves or something like Cactus Records. Remember that? And you'd have to buy that joint and bring it home, and you're gonna listen to we listen to every song on there. We might not like it, but you're gonna listen to the whole song. While you listen to the song, you got the not CD but the tape case. You got the insert out, and you read. So we knew who produced what, who the ghostwriters was, or who helped, and then they gave a shout out to their crew. So it was a whole different experience. You bought the music, you read the liner notes with all the extra information in it, and you were able to consume it in an honest way.
Yeah.
Nowadays, and plus you spent the money on it, so yeah, you're gonna, nowadays, you click on there, and if it doesn't hit you, like almost immediately, you'll probably never try to listen to that song again. I'm not necessarily like that, but I know that's the way it is. So, do you think that hip hop, or let's just say rap music, because I don't necessarily consider this hip hop, because there's no DJ. The rap portion of it is preeminent. It's more or less what I'm saying, the image that I'm conveying. Do you think that it is inferior to what we grew up on, or do you sometimes get caught in that trap of being older? And it's not like how it used to be, so it's not as good, and we can't see the forest from the trees sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call it inferior because, man, change don't come, man. Like, change is inevitable. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just depends on where we at when we get there. The days of dudes spinning records. I mean, like real live DJs,
right.
That Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince. That's really just that shit is over, bro. You know what I mean? Like, don't nobody have to get off in there and put all that work in where they can punch some buttons and get on the program and make the same noise, do the same thing with less time, less energy, and less money.
So it's justified in a sense that people from our generation can't feel it, or are we still being closed-minded because it's...
I'm gonna say we're being closed-minded because would you be complaining because y'all got these cars with AC in them? I remember when I had my car, I didn't have no AC. We didn't have no AC back in the 60s or 50s. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's necessarily a fair comparison, because if you compare apples to apples, and the car that I drove growing up got me, I don't know shit about cars. I don't know why I'm using this as an example. But to say it got 30 miles to the gallon.
Right. It's ridiculous for the old.
New cars, is that good?
They get 30 miles a gallon now.
Okay.
We're talking about 15 miles a
But
gallon.
what if it got less?
What, we're now?
Now. What if it got less than what I was used to? So it's not necessarily that it's different or it's more advanced. I'm not getting the same bang for my buck.
No, but you have to, at some point in time, you got to give something to get something. You know what I mean?
But a car basically is a car. The idea is to go as far as possible.
But see, look how you thinking. Old man, you sound like an old man now. So, minus it just being a bucket, a two, matter of fact, red. Remember Red, rest in peace? Let's say this 2020, but red is a Lex, a 2015 Lex. So, you know what I mean? It's gonna have all the in the buttons, but you're getting less gas per mileage. But look how you're getting there.
In stock. I mean that's what I'm saying. I understand that.
You know, everything. What I mean, that's the nature of the beast, baby.
Yeah. So that's that's
You know what I mean?
kind of crazy.
It's the nature of the beast. People want to look. People would prefer to look good. Everything is visuals now. Everything is Instagram, YouTube, whatever. That, you know what I mean? Everything is visual. How I look.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It ain't. They can care less about the substance behind it. Oh, that boy there. Yeah, man. But boy, you don't know nothing about the upkeep or you know what I mean? It's how it looks.
Okay.
And people are paying for that.
Name me an artist right now who a lot of people hate on that you enjoy, that you feel like they hate on them for no reason. Not necessarily no reason, but you feel like they're being kind of.
When you say hate on, what you mean? Like hate on, like what you mean?
Shit, like kind of like how we be doing. Not we, me, and you, but you know, these niggas. Okay, so I'll give you a good example. I think Lil Wayne is phenomenal. I love Lil Wayne. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so and
I'm talking about like today, like now?
right now, I like Lil Wayne a lot more. I started listening to Lil Wayne seriously when he put out the drop mixtapes. That's when I really started appreciating him.
You didn't appreciate him with the first dedication?
I don't know.
That was the most.
So the dedication is a mixtape.
The first mixtape.
Okay, and I think that might be what it is. I started listening to him when he started dropping all those mixtapes because I think I had I had like about 5 or 6 of those drops. Oh no, man, maybe not. It might have been the dedications. All I know is I had about 8 or 9 mixtapes total of Lil Wayne that I just bumped constantly.
Right.
But like the albums he came out with before that, I wasn't really feeling it.
No,
I like, hey DJ, that's my DJ. It was cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at that. But then like right around that time, he started dropping the mixtapes and I start feeling
He
it.
stopped writing.
So when you say stop writing, you stop physically writing them? Because you know they say Gilly wrote a lot of this stuff for his albums. Gilly
did?
Yeah.
But what album?
Shit, I think a couple of them, man.
You lied.
Like the Carters, the Carter 1 and 2 or something like that.
But see,
We'll check. We'll fact check that. But for a fact, I know that Gilly himself said that he wrote.
That's why he's so high on himself.
Well, Gilly is cool though. I think
No.
I think that's just how that nigga is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't mind him but I'm like I don't even really know who this dude is, but he's so cool. Like he don't bore none of the nonsense.
I think if he would have wrote for me, and I ain't, you know that nigga with the YouTube channel, I used to write for him. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that that's that. I don't know, it's that Philly.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is, but that's just how.
That little arrogance.
Yeah.
That's about
that shit kind of live.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like an arrogant motherfucker that can back it up and,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think he's made the mark in hip hop as far as me listening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, he does say that.
He probably can write better than he can actually spit it himself.
I fuck with that too.
Yeah.
But I think he wants to be treated
a lot better.
Yeah.
But no, they don't.
They're not gonna respect that.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Oh well, you
it's
Wayne didn't need you or whatever.
Right.
Like maybe he did at the time.
Exactly. See, it's only a knock on the person you wrote for. It's not. It don't big up the person that wrote it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because
that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, because the person that wrote, that goes writing for Drake. What's his name? Anybody?
I used to know that shit. But here's the thing with that, and a lot of people will disagree with me. I get a nigga a pass for that.
Who?
Drake.
Oh, for that's about goes right.
Yeah, because I think the
he
dude
was just too busy, right?
Yeah, just too busy.
Say, man.
I know we discussed this.
See. Let's go back down that road. The hip hop and the rap. Say, man, dudes wasn't writing for.
I understand, but this ain't hip hop. It's rap. It's a business.
It's a business. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I got much respect for dudes that's gonna take it on the chin when it's their time to take it on the chin. But if you scared of goddamn you take it on the chin, you gonna get somebody to sub in for you.
Yeah. my record label is saying I need to turn in X amount of projects.
Either you can or you can't.
Yeah, but if I have a crew that's saying, okay, we're this thing. You know, it's not just Drake. Kind of like you have a band. You know, you got somebody to play the drums, you got somebody keyboard, guitar, lead guitar, bass guitar, lead singer, back up, and then you know. So if you have a crew, no, I understand it, but
say the Saint Lunatics. You use that and equate that to
how?
Drake. Because there was a crew of dudes that wrote.
No, but that was a crew of dudes that rhymed.
That's what I'm talking about.
All together.
But Drake act like he's one. Like he do all this stuff.
Okay.
And he passed it off as it was his, but it wasn't. But Saint Lunatics, you know them dudes was together on it. Okay, you the best one. We're gonna put you out there, and then you're gonna pull everybody else in.
Gotcha.
So if what's my man name from the Saint Lunatics? The next one up, Murphy Lee.
Right.
If Murphy Lee had wrote one of them bangers that the boy was doing, they the click. You see what I'm saying? They doing that together.
Okay, so at what point though is it okay or it's not okay? Okay, so Dre never wrote a rhyme in his life.
Who, Dr. Dre?
Yeah.
Oh, that's different.
Okay, because he's a producer.
He's a producer.
Okay, so how about Easy?
That's different.
Why?
Easy ain't never claimed to be
The Brat. Crisscross. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? A lot of people that we grew up.
Understand something. Crisscross and them was back then, and you know they was young. They was getting help with the lyrics.
Lil Wayne got help with the lyrics. He's still young. He hasn't become an artist yet. I think Drake has established himself as being an artist, and in order to keep up the business side of it, he needed a crew of people to help push this.
But don't act like this. Don't pass yourself off as being a top MC.
Can you not be a top MC and not be able to? Because you'd have to think that. I mean, that line of thinking is saying that he wasn't physically able of doing that himself. That he needed somebody to get him to where he is. What I'm saying is he got to a certain point in order to maintain that.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
So if you earn it,
don't write a check that your ass can't cash.
So why don't you think Wayne is like what I think he is?
Wayne had a cool run.
From the mixtapes.
From Dedication 1, whatever year that came out. I'm gonna tell you what came out when the Dedication 1 came out. That came out, and
the original Millie, was that on there or was that on the drop?
This was before that.
Okay.
The Green Lantern put out a mixtape for your boy from the Lock.
Styles P?
No, not Styles.
Jada?
Jada. The Champ is here. That same summer, we was jamming. The Champ is here. That Dedication came out, and Young Jeezy came out. The one of them first Thug Motivation. The same summer, nigga. Mm-hmm. And we was jamming that Champ is here before Dwayne dropped. Okay. And we was jamming the Champ is here, and we was on that Jeezy, and that Wayne dropped. It shut everything down. We wouldn't even listen to them other niggas no more.
So when did he fall off?
I think when you, especially if you're doing a lot of freestyling, and you have more lyrics than content.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of that shit is just saying fly metaphors, blah 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 blah. So for me personally, that he had a cool run for maybe a couple of years, but he was putting out a lot of shit, and he was saying a lot of shit. So at some point, I feel like I've heard it all.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You would have to be on a song with somebody else with a whole different vibe and be on that bitch and be like, Wayne killed it. You know what I mean? That's because when you're doing so much, especially, it's like a double-edged sword. You could be doing a lot and be doing great, and you can kind of run. If you're not writing and you just kind of freestyling and just saying, you just basically come off the top of the head. You saying a lot of the same. Eventually, you really saying the same thing.
Start repeating yourself.
Start repeating yourself. So I've heard it. And if you're writing and everything's going good for you, but if you don't switch it up from the same producers or whatever you got going on, it's gonna get kind of stagnant for me. You know what I mean? And I'm just gonna kind of, I almost have to back away from it and deal with somebody else and it's somebody else that didn't come back to you. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Same thing with Rick Ross. As great as an artist I think he is, he put out a lot of material. I mean, a lot. But any given Sunday, he can give you a smash hit or a smash 16. You know what I mean?
So you don't think a lot of these big artists get a little help?
Like who?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
If they do, it has to be noted to me.
Does that hurt
I
their
know
credibility?
I know Pusha T though.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because you standing up on that merit against Drake, like
Yeah. Well, yeah. He kind of X'd himself out of it. Like, he can't. Even if he wanted to, he can't. Okay, I got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just think that with Drake, man, you know, and I'm not a huge Drake fan. I just really respect that dude.
Right,
you know,
right. Yeah,
I just think that in order for him to maintain what he's maintained over this period of time,
And I understand why he did. But don't act like you're the best. But see the thing about rap and hip hop and all that, everything is braggadocious.
Okay.
Everything is I'm the best MC. I'm the livest. I'm the whoop the whoop, blah 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 blah. You claiming to be the best lyricist. Wait a minute. You didn't write that song? Open up. Now it's a chink in the armor.
So let me ask you this real quick. You know Dale the Funky Homo Sapien. He wrote children's fairy tale.
Cute's cousin.
Yeah, cute.
Gangsta's fairy tale.
Is that what it is?
Little boys and girls.
All love me. Come sit on the lap of ICE.
And let me tell a story or two. Yeah.
About a punk ass
nigga I knew.
named Jack.
He wasn't that dumb. He
Wasn't that quick.
Jumped over the counter, stick
Burnt his dick.
went up the street.
Because it was piping hot
Met a bitch named Jill
at the dope spot.
Yeah, so do you ever hear Cube saying
Yes. That he's the best?
no, not saying he's the best.
Oh, okay.
That that nobody ever ghost wrote for him. He writes all
But I
the
mean, how many artists, rappers actually come out and say nobody's ever ghost written something? You know what I'm saying?
Females do it all the time.
Say that nobody has ghost written for them? That's
Yeah.
because that was a norm to have
I'm even talking about now, like
Cardi. Cardi don't have a ghost writer?
it wasn't Cardi. I don't know if it was Megan or what's the other one? Nikki.
Okay.
It's one of them. But
Then Safari used to write for Nicki.
you see what I'm saying? But they try to claim that they write all that shit.
Yeah.
So it's either you do or you don't. Either it is or it's not. You claiming to be something. You claiming to stand on your own too when somebody holding you up.
I just think the norm for the industry right now is that it's probably okay to do that. And I have to think that, I have to accept that that's what it is, because growing up in the era, the golden era of hip hop, that was just like a no-no. Unless you were Biz, Biz Markie, or you were somebody like that. But if you were Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Cool G Rap, even KRS-One, Chuck D, that was a death sentence. Oh, you don't even write your own shit?
Yeah, shut your punk ass
Gotcha,
up.
you sure right.
Yeah.
I used to think that Flavor Flav, somebody wrote his shit. His lyrics weren't the greatest, but he didn't have a ghostwriter. And he played the piano. He's a musician. I had no idea until like last week. Not last week, but you know what I'm saying? Relatively recently, just how talented this dude was. So clearly, we favor old school hip hop, or the stuff that we came up on, over than what we have right now.
Yeah.
You think it's a quality issue, or does, no matter what? Because I always figured when I was younger, I will always be a hip hop head. I will always love rap music.
Right.
And to a certain degree, I still do. But the passion that I had for it when I was writing, attempting to break dance, because I can't, attempting to break dance or whatever, it's missing those elements of hip hop, those 5 elements: the DJing, the rapping, the breakdancing, the graffiti, the journalism. If those elements aren't missing from the art form right now, they're watered down. But I don't see graffiti being a big part of it. And graffiti is a little something different. We definitely don't see the DJing where you have DJs, but you don't see the rapper putting on a show, or the MC putting on a show, and then saying, "Here's my DJ, Jazzy Jeff," and then Jazzy Jeff put on this set or whatever, you know. So do you think that's something that's on us that we need to evolve, even though I feel like I give it a chance. But do you think that is there any way that we can still recapture that same feeling with those 5 elements for the most part missing a word?
No, it's gone. It's a lot.
Damn, it's kind of depressing.
Well, I mean, because when you were saying that, I had to go back to when I was starting to become a mechanic. A lot of things they taught us, it was transitioning to becoming a lost art. Like I took a transmission rebuild class. Get out of there, ain't nobody rebuilding no transmission. Most people are replacing your transmission.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's a few shops that will rebuild them, but then you thinking about it. If you spending $400-$500 for somebody to go into your transmission and rebuild it and put it back in there, and then something's wrong with it, or everything's not good with it, you gonna spend that same amount of money for them to go back out. You know what I mean? Because they ain't gonna do it for free. So it's like it's a lost art. You're better off buying a brand new transmission or paying for a complete because people go off there and just try to fix a certain problem.
Right.
But if I pay you for a complete rebuild, it's like I'm paying you to do the whole thing.
Right.
Now that's different. Same thing with this with DJing. They trying to sell you they trying to say the smart equipment that minimizes your efforts or your frustration from having to learn how to do what only a certain percentage of people can really do.
Right. Digging through wax, you try to find a particular break and to manipulate it. You know, they do have the DJing competitions and stuff, so people still, the art form is alive.
Right. The art form
but it's been divorced from hip hop.
From hip hop.
So it's its own thing now.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, that's all it is. You
They
know
have
what I mean?
some really nice DJ competitions.
Oh,
bro.
I'm sure.
They got some good ones, man.
But I don't care who you are. You're not gonna do an album. Cause okay, imagine you want to do an album and you want to get a DJ to do some scratching or do some live stuff on it. He's gonna want to try to charge you, and when you're looking at your budget, you're gonna be like, well, damn, I really can do it this way and come out a whole lot cheaper than doing it than having you to do it. You know what I mean? So now we're talking about budget now. So you might be able to get it done cheaper right here, but then when you go to do a show, you want a live DJ, you want him to do this and that. DJ like, I'm damn gonna get paid the same thing whether I do some extra mixing and scratching
But having the DJ as a part of the group. So say me and you,
and
then our partner is a DJ. And you say, hey man, let's do a throwback group type of deal, and then have somebody that scratch.
That's different.
Well,
that's us being old heads.
So I'm talking about the younger generation is not going to do that.
They have a DJ to spin the records, to play the tracks, to play the beats. That's it. Okay. I've seen concerts. I've seen some shows. The DJ is up there just playing the next track. They got the whole thing, the whole setup, but I ain't never seen them break down and let the DJ.
They shine.
They ain't doing that, bro. It's like,
and I don't understand that. It's such a fundamental. Oh, I guess I could say it's fundamental, and maybe sometimes fundamental is not the greatest thing. But you know, the way I look at it, it's just it was a winning formula. So here's the deal. Excuse me. What I think the difference is, it's just like we don't have groups anymore. We have Migos and stuff, you know. But for the most part, everybody want to be a solo artist.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody is cut out to be a solo artist. It's like you on Facebook, like, I'm a boss. I'm a boss. Everybody a boss. Well, not everybody's a boss. Not everybody's meant to be a boss. Kind of how like, what's up, King? What's up, Queen? Well, not everybody's. You know, some of you got some justice.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? You got some. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody want to make themselves out to be something. Bigger than.
Sounds good.
It sounds good, but the thing is, sometimes you hurt yourself, and you hurt whatever culture you're in. You hurt the culture, period, by wanting to do everything yourself, thinking that I can be a boss. I could be the sole star in whatever it is that you're doing.
We were just talking about being my neighbor, Big Gift, shout out Big Gift. We were just talking about this last night. As far as the stuff I'm doing, like you have to have a team. You know what I mean? You will never hear me say, "Oh yeah, I went out there and designed this and did this and blah 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 blah." That's not what I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Domo does that. It's Dominique. Dominique designed it and put it together. Woo. I might go off there and print it up and package it. That's my part. For the time being. and somebody else might do something else. You have to have a team. Everybody have to play their part because, but if I want to be the boss and try to, I don't need nobody help. I don't need no help. I can do it all myself. That's when you lose. You lose when you try to. You want to take all the fame. You want to take all the accolades and think you can be the sole proprietor and create something that takes multiple people to be able to handle, and you can handle it all yourself. When sometimes being a boss just means delegating people to do certain things, knowing what needs to be done overall. You know what I mean? And what they say, you pay the cost to be the boss. Pay that person to do this part of the job and do that. But see, people don't want to separate from that money. They want to keep all the money to themselves.
I think it's bigger than the money, though. I mean, of course,
it's just an ego.
It's an ego thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't have groups anymore. You can't have an outcast. You got two people. You can have that as easy. But having somebody like Goody Mob, four different individuals with different styles or whatever, and then not only that, then you got to be under somebody else, and you got a bigger group under that umbrella than you are, and you get the egos. So you look at CeeLo left, but 3 albums, before that, and so it's and I think that hurts it. It's you lose a little bit of creativity. You're one person. So we talked about how Pimp C and Bun B separate. They cool.
Yeah,
but together they UGK.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole different vibe. And I think we lose that ability to collaborate with people. Then you're missing a whole aspect of something. There may be something about a particular song or a project that never crosses your mind. But just to have at least that one other person to input can make the project a whole lot bigger.
Okay.
So, having said that, you feel like that's the biggest issue right now with the music is just that we're missing that group aspect to it. Well, now, not say music, hip hop. But those 5 elements missing there pretty.
Yeah, most definitely. You know what I mean? It's most definitely missing some parts. Everybody want to be, like you say, the boss, man. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. And I don't know what you can do to supplement the graffiti aspect of it. You know what I mean? I think that should have been a staple in hip hop. Like, it's easy to get somebody to do some graffiti. You know what I mean? That was like...
It doesn't have to be part of a stage presence. It's just that we start looking at hip hop as a rapper instead of hip hop being this whole thing, lifestyle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you could be a breakdancer that does graffiti. And I rap too. And my partner is a DJ.
Right.
That is hip hop. Hip hop isn't just somebody rapping. It's all of it.
Yeah.
And we don't have that anymore. You can make the argument that graffiti is destructive.
Well, I'm not saying go and tag somebody.
Well, I mean, it depends on what it is. Just like to be someone sign that you keep painting over. It's really kind of lost its luster. But that, if done properly, it speaks volumes. When we lose
So you think that was a bad, that shouldn't have been there?
No, I had no problem with it being there.
Yeah.
But because it became big, people started fucking
Hating on it.
not even hating. Oh man, people come here to see this. Let me put my shit there. Well, no, we don't want to see your shit. Be Someone was iconic in itself. It wasn't the location. It wasn't how nice, because it was just plain black lettering.
It just been there. It was just there.
It was there, but it meant something.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't mean anything because anytime, next thing we do, we look up, it got Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. But anyway, Chuck, once again, it's been great having you. As always, let's do it again. I want you to come with some ideas for me, and we can put that into play and see what we can do.
Most definitely. I have something to look forward to. You know what I mean? This is a nice little outlet to kind of really getting back to the roots, man. 'Cause this is what we used to always do anyway. Just chop it up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Talk about who's who and why we feel like EPMD versus Outkast or whoever we might have a conversation about. Because some of the shit might be like, nah, nigga, that's you can dead that. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
For us to have these discussions, man, I think it's a beautiful thing, and I would love to come back.
Well, that's another episode of The Kickback. This time we had a little roundtable discussion. This has been your boy Sean P.
boy Chuck.
I want you guys to take care of each other and peace out. See you the next time.